Welcome everybody, Reaktor23 here. Today we're going to be covering the Scooka Core Rush on Cooker. So here we go, we got Moving Day, he's going to provide us a perfect demonstration. So what you normally want before you start the Scooka Rush is to make sure that the shields on the left are all clear, shields on the right are all clear, and you usually end up getting a bunch of defenses in the way as you go. And you also want to clear all these mines in the finishing spot that we're going to be in a minute. If there is a shock mine right here, you want to leave it. That will save us a shock later on. So we'll remember that. We'll have a look at the intricacies once we get a bit closer. So we're just going to start off with a flare landing. We're going to be aiming for the optimal 45-degree angle to our first spot. And then what we usually do is we will do a gather flare somewhere on the beach. It can be as early or as sort of late as about here as you'd like, or if you're really confident that your Zookas are all grouped up really nicely, you can flare directly up. You want to be looking at the laser range and obviously smoking before you get inside that. You want to try and keep the delay if you can. M-Day is going to smoke nice and early. And that's all good, and then he's just going to try not to peak. So second flare, don't forget to re-flare once you get to this first flare point. Now all your Zookas are nicely tightly grouped, so you're going to have no problems with smoking them all the way up to the core. With this flare, you can either flare here. You got to make sure if you do flare right by the core that it is high enough for the scorcher to go over the shock mine. And it's going to have enough separation from the Zookas if you do need to shock it on subsequent attacks. Other flare points, I actually like a flare around on this shock mine. I prefer that. The Zookas will walk on the same path and still intercept, Scorcher will still intercept that shock mine. Some people I know like to flare up on this wall where that line is. But I've seen more success on the back wall, sort of just above and to the right of this boom mine. So it's all sort of directly in line with the current flare, this shock mine, and direct line all the way back to that back wall. Like I said, my favourite flare point is this, but whatever starts working for you is all good. I also like to do my gather flare right in the middle of the shield prototype right there, and that's the perfect spot for me. So let's carry on up. You need to practice your timing in your scout or on replays. Watch them all at one times. You can normally throw one extra smoke there. See, might not have been needed. You might have been able to go straight for the final smoke, but it's easier or safer to just throw that one extra smoke. And then the timing here is critical. So you want to have the top smoke marking the covering the scorcher, and then the second smoke down is going to be just slightly after, because you need all the lasers to target onto that scorcher. You want to make sure there's no gaps between this final smoke that the Zookas are in now and the final destination smoke for the Zookas. And then as soon as that scorcher is shocked, whether it's your own shock or the shock mine, you want to flare down and then see how the scorcher started to move. You're going to be really quick with that reflare onto the core. So timing is just going to be critical on all of these parts, and if you mess up any of it, it's pretty much game over. But that's all good. We love it. High risk, high reward. So now that we're at the spot, the reason we want the scorcher to peak first is because all of these lasers are going to focus onto the scorcher first, and that's perfect. Lasers, when they focus onto a scorcher, because it's peaking first, they stay targeted onto the scorcher. Not like some other defenses which will fire one shot and then they'll look at something that's closer. Lasers will continue to fire at that scorcher until it's dead, until it's gone. So you don't have to worry about these lasers because they'll all fire over the top of the Zookas onto the scorcher, hit the ground where the scorcher is, and then continue firing. So with these top ones, they're going to hit the scorcher, or this one's probably the easiest one, the middle one just above the shock mine. This laser is going to hit the ground where the scorcher is, and then it's going to continue along the ground straight into the middle of those Zookas and just wipe them out. So we definitely want to be shocking that one. This laser is sort of, you just look at that line, it's probably not going to hit any Zookas. If it does, it's just going to be these two out to the side. And this one's completely irrelevant, as are all of these and these. So you're just sort of looking at that angle. Everything should be in that safe zone. We'll be able to see it soon. And then we want to be shocking the mortars on the side. If there are any defenses under these lasers, we might have to shock them. And the machine gun's out of range, and the mortar is just out of range too. So it just looks like it'll be 3 shocks, because if there are any boom cannons or doom cannons up the top that are in range of your Scorcher, they will wreck your Scorcher. And if your Scorcher's dead, everything will aim at your Zookas. So you definitely need to watch out for that. So here we go, let's have a look, see how it happened. So Scorcher reveals itself, the shocks are out, used 4 really safe shocks, and this laser just picked off a few Zookas on the left hand side, and boom! So even while shocking all of the boom cannons, it did take a lot of health off the Scorcher because of those snipe towers and a few other defenses. Medkits on the core, I love it. So that was just a perfect rush. So make sure you're looking at all of those things. We just had a perfect another demonstration by Alp, so we'll just have a quick look, see if he does anything differently. There is no shock mine this time. We're going to do this nice and quickly. He's got a flare landing on the right hand side. Once he sees his spot, he's going to do an anchor, sort of like an anchor flare, just a gathering flare, sorry, and then he's going to flare right up beside the core. Like I said, I prefer a flare up by this mine, but that's fine. And then he's going to have to shock that Scorcher and flare down. Remember, all this timing is going to have to be perfect. And then he's throwing out his shocks, bang, 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 and there you go. All his Zookas are safe in this little laser death zone, and 5 medkits. Nice work, Alp. So that's how to do the Cooker core rush. Hope that helps you out. It could possibly take you a few fails before you actually do get it, but it's very satisfying when you nail it. So enjoy yourself. Comment down below if you failed it or if you've just nailed it. It's a great, really satisfying hit. Give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, and subscribe for more Boom Beach.